YouTube man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of WWE Talk, come to you live on YouTube. As you know, tomorrow night is a big event, is UFC 271, and on the main card it is Chris Cyborg, the baddest woman on the planet, versus Sinead Kavanagh. This is gonna be Chris's fourth fight with with Bellator. As you know, she debuted back in 2019 when she beat the former champion Julia Budd for the title in the women's heavyweight with the featherweight division. So and she's a fighting champion. I mean, this is why I'm a fan of Chris Cyborg. She's a great lady. But also, there's quite few women fights on this card. Four women fights. And Bellator only has two divisions. That is flyweight and featherweight. I wish they built up some more. So also, this fight is on the card. This is Desiree Yanez Dirty Dez versus Elena Buna Elena. And these are two up and coming women in the in Bellator, impressive fighters. They have a great career. Now with Bruna, she started in Bellator around about I think around about 2016. And, she made a debut, she took a loss, and then she had a couple of wins. She beat one of the person she beat was Vita Argueta. And, Vita, she was a former flyweight contender, and that was a great win for her. And then she was supposed to fight Valerie Roleta. That fight was canceled. She took a loss against Christina Williams, and then she got another win after that fight. And then she fought against the current champion, Julia Velasquez. And that fight went, she was just dominated. Julia's a tough fighter. She just had a fight about a few months ago against Dynamite Danielle Denise Killhouse. And, Desiree, this is going to be her second fight in Bellator. Her first fight was also against Vita Argueta, and that fight didn't go the way it should have. She lost that fight by unanimous decision. So but she still is up and comer. I think she still has a great future if she just gotta put her with somebody a little bit not as a veteran like somebody like Vita Argueta or anybody else. I mean, she might need to be put against somebody who's up and coming like herself. Now, also, this is the first fight of the prelims. The other fight we talked about was like the second fight of the prelims. It's like the second one fight of the prelims. But this is the one of the fights on the prelims I've been waiting for. It's the return of Valerie Loretta. I'm a fan of Valerie Loretta. I think she is a great fighter, awesome lady. She's facing up against Taylor Turner. And, I'm a fan of Valerie Loretta. Oh my God, she's just so beautiful, so sexy. I can't help myself. She is. Come on, guys. You can't deny, the sex appeal of Valerie Loretta. And one of her last fights, she dominated her opponent. She was I think that was Tara Graff. That was her second fight with Bellator. She was 2-2 with Bellator after that fight. And she just knocked out her opponent round about I think it was the second round. And, that was a good fight. I mean, I saw that fight, and that was congratulations. Then her next fight was against Hannah Guy. And this was like just this early this summer. And, I was thinking, Valerie's going to do pretty good in this fight. She's going to do pretty good. But, Valerie was making a lot of mistakes. She was throwing punches where she shouldn't have been throwing punches. And this wasn't her best fight. I mean, it's just she can come out as good as she usually does. But, and this was her first loss with Bellator. And there's talks that she wants a shot at Hannah Guy again. So maybe we'll get a shot after this fight. And with Taylor Turner, she's been with Bellator for quite some time. She fought against her first fight was against Heather the Heat Harding. and she defeated Harding with a ground and pound. This is a good example where boxers who don't do good on the ground are off their back, and like we learned for the Clarissa Shields thing, this should have been, Clarissa Shields should look at this fight. I know she knows Heather Harding, but after that she took a couple of losses. She lost against Alejandra Lara, who's also a former flyweight contender. And then that was a by just a like what she did to Heather Harding. She took a ground and pound, and then she took another loss, and then she had a win. So this now opportunity to climb up back into again, maybe get another win against somebody like Valerie Loera. Now, also on this card, we have two women who are been in the fight game for quite some time. This is the main card, and this is Arlene Blanco, Angerfist Arlene Blanco versus Pam Bam Sorensen. And these two women are legends. I mean, if you know anything, they've been in the game for quite some time. That Arlene's originally from Australia. And she's been living here in the States and competing because she can't go back because, Australia is restricted. So she also has a family. She has kids. And, with everybody knows Pam Bam. She been in fight game quite some time. She fought Invicta for a good while. And then after she got the Victor Championship, she decided to leave. Because one thing was, I think, while I was hearing, there was, Victor was shut down because of the pandemic. And it wasn't a lot of, competition for her, And then this opportunity, she debuted on, I think this summer. And it was against, I saw this fight. It was against, what's her name is? Her name is Roberta Samad. And it was a pretty good fight. I mean, she won by split decision. I watched the fight. I mean, Pam did pretty good, and Samad was a pretty good opponent. But, Pam was just a better fighter, and, with her years of experience. And with Arlene, she's been in the game for quite some time. You remember, Arlene has fought for the Bellator featherweight title. She fought for it against Julia Budd. And she lost, I think, she lost twice against Budd. She lost when he was fighting for the title, and she lost against her in the rematch. And then, she took a loss after that one, and then she was climbing back up when she defeat fighters like Emily Block and Amanda Bell. And then she faced against Leslie Smith, back in 2019. And she defeated Leslie Smith. And then after that, she faced against Chris Cyborg for the title back in 2020. And didn't go the way that Arlene thought. She took a beat. I mean, and this was the first of them. She was Cyborg's first submission win. I mean, most times Cyborg win her fights by just decisions or by just knockouts, just dominating her opponent. But this was a Cyborg's first submission win. And then after that, she had a bounce back fight against Daniela Silva. And she defeated Silva, by third round knockout. Might would say by punches, by TKO, might would say. And Silva was the same person that fought Julia Budd when she was on her way out after she became a free agent from Bellator. But the main card, as is going to be Chris Cyborg against number 5, Sinead Kavanagh. And Sinead, she's been in games for quite some time. So has Chris. Chris is a legend. And Sinead has I think, a pretty decent record. She faced some tough opponents, such as she faced against, as I said again, Arlene's Angerfist Blanco, but she lost that fight against Arlene. And then, she faced against Julia Budd. And she lost that fight. These are two people that Cyborg dominated. And then after those losses, she got a win. Put in a couple of wins. One against Kathina Lehar, and that was by unanimous decision. She dominated her opponent. And this was last year. And this is 2019. Actually last year. But notably, her biggest fight was in 2019 against Olga Rubin. As you know, Olga Rubin was the former featherweight contender, and she defeated Olga Rubin by TKO in the second round. That's pretty good. I mean, especially Rubin, who fought against Julia Budd, but now she's facing against the Borg, And the big question is, does she have a chance against Cyborg? I don't know. I don't really see it. I think Sinead Collins could be another notch in Cyborg's belt. As you know, she took her the championship from Julia Budd back in 2019 when she made her debut. And, and some people feel like, maybe Cyborg should have got a touch-up fight before she fought Julia Budd. But, the big thing was that Julia Budd was the champion. And, people want to see that. Who else would she was to fight? Anybody else would just got killed. So, and then next up, she took on Arlene Blanco, who was a former featherweight contender who fought Julia Budd twice and lost to Julia Budd. And she submitted Arlene Blanco, being her first submission in her career. And then she fought Leslie Smith for a second time. And she fought Leslie Smith back on her debut at UFC. That's about 6 years ago. And she defeated Leslie Smith. They went all 5 rounds. But it ended with her just with a ground and pound. But it went 5 rounds. That's the longest that Smith went with the first fight. But the big fight people want to see is Kat Zingano versus Chris Cyborg. Now, what's the deal, Kat? What's going on? No one wants to see any other fight but this fight. And you remember back in the day, Kat, you called out Chris Cyborg. So what's the deal, Kat? What you doing? So you can't be home just eating on bonbons and being on social media. Hey, you gotta put up a shut up. And all these other women are being sacrificed for you. These are just sacrifices for you, Kat. So this is a fight where everybody wants to see Kat Zingano versus Alpha Kat Zingano versus Chris Cyborg. So when will it happen? We'll probably see it next year, because after she beats Sinead Kavanagh, that's it. And then she beats Cyborg. She beats when Cyborg beats Kat. What's next after that? Well, Chris is talking about doing some boxing. So there's a good chance that she might do that maybe in 2023. So, but like I said, this is going to be a great fight. A great bunch of great fights on this card. A lot of ladies out here. And, I like to pay attention to these women, because the fact is, women in MMA don't get as much attention compared to men. And reach me all the way, George Page, a.k.a. the Emperor of WMA Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out.